This is not a dream.
Alright, y'all. We just uploaded a video where we fixed this truck. Hey, Taco. Well, the video was going to be twice as long because we were also working on the Fun Haver, fixing the problems I had with it. And I decided it was too long of a video, so we're going to separate them to two videos. So that's why that one was kind of a short video, fixing that truck. And now, since there wasn't no intro for this video, I figured I'd just let you know why. So enjoy. So alright, y'all, since we're doing repairs, we might as well get to this one. Now, there's nothing major wrong, but as you can see, we got wires ripping out of the back. I mentioned in my unboxing, I thought the wires could use replace, or, you know, shifted around, I mean, placed differently. And then after driving it, I ripped some loose a couple times and tried to move them over, but I didn't have much hot glue left. And I didn't get them quite out of the way for the bashing I put on it. And as you can see, they got ripped out from the tires. So we're going to take care of that the best we can. The issue is they ripped directly out of the tail light back here, and I'm not sure yet if I can solder it back on or how that works. So I've already talked to the man in shipping and parts and all that. I got stuff on the way to take care of it, but he also said go ahead and try to solder it if I can, see what's up. So, and that's what I'm gonna try to do, see if I can fix what I got. Now, other than that, this thing is just a beast. Playing in sand is so much fun because it softens the blow when you do wipe out. You know, you go tumbling through the deep sand, it helps a lot. But I was on the hard grass a few times and it hit pretty hard, and it takes it. So now I will say though, the old front bumper mount that I already straightened out once because I bent it, she's looking rough again. I might as well just order one or two of these. But it's there for a reason. It's there to take some of the damage, and it bends up. I heated it up with my lighter last time, straightened it back out. But the hits I was doing this weekend, yeah, she's bent pretty good. But might try to straighten it again. Now, one thing I did notice out of all the videos I've seen with other people on this truck, I don't think I've noticed anybody mention that this truck is narrower by 1.5 inches compared to the U4 Ridge Racer. You just don't notice it when that big body's on here, but it is, trust me. I've already measured with a tape measure and everything. And it's not wheel extensions and hexes. No, it's A-arms, and the rear axle itself is completely shorter. And that makes a little difference in handling, but that makes it a whole different truck also in a way. So I love it. I think that's awesome. Now then, and I also will be making a video with the two trucks running together. Well, maybe not at the same time because I'm one person, but still, I will have both trucks in the video together, and we'll kind of try to find a way to test them, you know, compare them, whatever. Now, I think for the first time, I'm going to take the body completely loose on this thing so I can get in there and really work on these taillights and go ahead and clean it up again. I ain't never took the body off the Bronco, I don't think, yet. Maybe I have the other one. So let's go ahead and just take it loose. So, alright, y'all, we got her all loosened up here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the difference in the width real quick up close. So, alright, y'all. Here's the difference. The other side is even, and here's how much there's at least 1.5 inches once you get the tape measure on it. But let's make sure they're even there. Let's make sure. Oh yeah. If anything, I got this one over further. What's up, Pepper? So yeah. And it's all in the axles and stuff, not the wheel hexes, like I said. So now I went and moved all the front ones over to here but I have them strapped kind of tight, so all that happened up front was this one just kind of bounced loose again because it's too tight. So what I have to do this time, I should have done last time, so they run them around the outside of the frame. They planned on them coming straight in here, so I need to unhook them here and get this all over to the inside. Same on this side here, where one of them's coming out right here still. I need to bring all that over to this side like I did the blue one already. I started to. I'd maybe make it come down the middle, but we need them out of the way for sure. And then I gotta get these soldered back in to there. So yeah, hopefully that's how they go. Alright, so now went ahead and took out the tail light back there. It looks like it's got like a circuit board in there that you got to solder back to. Here's our wires. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, see if I can't fix it. Because I think what he was sending me is the wire harness, but I don't think it includes for these lights, but it possibly could. But if it does, I'll have extras. We're going to still try to fix this one. One thing I've noticed though, with all that sand I was bashing in, looks like there's a bunch of sand inside of it. So maybe we can take that apart while we're at it. Yeah. Pull that apart. Let's see. Pull that out. There's how that light works. That's pretty nice. But we can also clean that sand out of there. Look at that sand down on the bottom. Wow. So, anyway. So now, here's the thing. Let's see what's up. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, really. Let's go ahead and get some solder heated up. Here we go. Wasn't so bad. Now I just hope I got the hot and the negative right. Every now and again, the black one will be the positive. So what I went by, and just hoping, because I didn't want to do much work, I'm lazy, I looked at how this one is. The white one is at the top, and it's basically mirrored of what this is because of the angle here. I know they're opposites, so we're just hoping the white's the positive. We'll find out. If not, I'm going to switch the prongs. I'm not going to change the solder because, you know, I did a great job right there, and I hope it should work fine. We'll find out, won't we? So now that I got all those wires back together, I still have to reroute them, but everything should work as long as them are not backwards. I mean, I put the white for the positive, black for negative, but if it's wrong, I'm going to switch the prongs and we'll be fine. I don't really care. Now, all I got to do real quick before I get to that is put this mud flat back on. And again, I've been lucky that it's not ripping. They're stretching. It's a good quality rubber, so they're just stretching and coming off over the washer. Not a big deal. So okay guys, me and Pepper have had enough for the night. So we got the mud flat back on there. Like I say, all the wires should be ready to go. I just need to route them a little better under the cage, through the middle a little bit, and hot glue them down out of the way. First I got to clean up, and I'm tired, so we're going to do that tomorrow. Alright y'all, it's actually the next evening, but we're back at it. We did get it washed up. It's dry. I could not find the small hot glue sticks I need for my glue gun. I have big hot glue sticks for a glue gun that doesn't work anymore. But it is what it is. We're going to make it work. I'm going to heat them up, get me some glue off there, and we'll stick them down. First thing I need to do, I need to make sure they all work still, since I just got that soldered up yesterday. And I'm going to go ahead and take the chassis and wash it off real quick so I can bring it in here and be able to test these by plugging them in before I glue them in place. And then we're going to figure out how we're going to put these in here to where they will not get hit by a tire at all. The front's not a big deal. I can take a couple screws out of the roll cage and we can just kind of come in here underneath. We got that covered. And in the back here, there's not a lot of hiding spots unless you go straight down the middle, which is probably what they should have did. But I see why they didn't want to, you know. You don't want that showing. If I can get it to go underneath, let me point that down. If I can get them to go underneath this piece of plastic here and hot glue them up in that corner, we might be okay. So, first things first, let's get it cleaned up on the chassis and make sure these work. So, alright, we got her all cleaned off, at least hosed off. And me and Taco are eating some Doritos. Taco loves chips, crackers. She eats things that most cats won't, too. A lot of my cats, they won't have crackers, just plain crackers, like saltines. But I guess she's different. Now, she did get raised in a garage eating scraps when she was young. So we got her plugged in. Let's turn it on. I got a 4S battery in there just to test. Let's power down here. One, two, three, four. Alright, let's see what happens. First light, I should get at least these two fronts. Bam, baby. So do we have brights? Yes, we do. And we have both. I can see both back ones. We're set. Yeah, we're good. I got, yep. We got reflection here. Reflection down there. Yeah. So now all I gotta do is get these wires ran to where they're not gonna come out again. Alright, y'all, I think we're good to go. We shouldn't have too many issues anymore. Now, I can pop this one off here. But what we did was we took some screws out of the roll cage so we could move the body away. Slide the wires in. I had to unplug them from the back, obviously. We went underneath there. I did melt a little hot glue to hold these because I couldn't find my zip ties at first, but then I found them. So anyway, we ran it through there and up here and kind of along the bottom of this here just a little bit. Again, they had them up here and it went through here. So we're on the other side of the roll cage, zip tied in once we got past that part. Oops, this is where they plug in. The two plugs were my extensions. I had a wire that was ripped out, so we got it fixed, but I did throw some hot glue around the end just for safety because it would pop off pretty easy. So we took care of that. Now here's the part we had to watch the most. I'll stand it up again. Right here, all this is what was catching the most because the back is what really was getting in them. And I ripped out the light there. So what we did, where we come in here, we now, instead of being on the outside, we're underneath here, and we are zip tied to this roll cage way out, so none of this will catch. It's zip tied up in here. The only thing is, the way I got it, it's the best, safest way I could come up with, but you will see it just a little bit on the top, and I don't really care. You know, it's right there, but it's out of the way. I'd rather have it there where I can see it instead of underneath where it's going to rip out, I mean. So alright, now I was going to go ahead and slap the body on here real fast, and I thought about it real quick. I want to go ahead and change these front tie rods now. Again, it gives you these plastic ones that are really flexible, and they're fine, but they give you the extra ones just in case you want to put them on there. So I'm going to put the metal ones on and keep the plastic ones as spares. The other truck, the tires on the front actually like kick out at the front some compared to what this one does. But I think we're going to try to adjust these to match almost because that one handles so good. But I just wanted to show you guys now, these tie rods, they have a little dip for the rim. So they go on there like this. And when you turn the tire inward, you know, it goes like, see if I can get this where you can actually see. When you kick it in like that, you see how the rim is to fit right there like that. So you got to make sure you put them on the right way. When you build these, they come the same way. One doesn't have it, one does have it, and it just goes to the back like so. I went ahead and put them both together, and I got them pretty close to what this one already is. Might have to tighten them in some more, but once it's put on there, it'll be a lot easier to adjust them, because I can just use the wrench then. So let me go ahead and slap this one on there real quick. So now there is something you got to watch, and I didn't catch. The ball that goes in each side is different. You notice this one's shorter than this one, and the longer one here is supposed to go on this front one. So I got them backwards. No big deal, but it's just something to remember. The bigger one goes into this one with the hook. So okay guys, now I'm going to tell you, that is a must, because putting the metal link tie rods on here instead of these plastic ones has taken out all that slop. When you would grab the wheel before and you would go like this, it would just flex and go right back. Now you can hear the servo is actually turning, so it doesn't just flex and kick back because of them flexible tie rods. That is a good thing. I would swap them if I was y'all. And I was able to kick my tire out just a little bit on the front of each side like the other Bronco is. Makes a huge difference in handling for some reason, but I like it. So now, one last thing, since we had this over here and we're doing all this operating on the front, I figured we'd try to get that bumper mount straightened out again. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. I just took my lighter, heated it up top, bottom. That one ain't perfect, but I heated up on the top and the bottom as slow as you can, all the way around the bent spots. You know, slowly, like I say, you just constantly move it, don't hold it in one spot. And then once it's warm, straighten it out a little past normal and let it cool down and come back, and there you go. So nothing fancy. I'm gonna probably have to order something for that. But now, see, the reason that it's a problem is when it's bent, this bumper is pushed in closer and the body doesn't want to fit in there because there's no extra space. The front end of the body comes down and goes right behind this winch, and it's right there. When this is bowed in, it's actually pushing on the body. So now we can put it back the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to go ahead and slap the screws back in that, and then we're going to get the body back on here real quick, plug the lights in, and test it all out. So alright, we got her all fastened on. Let's see if we can plug these lights in. Let's see, will they reach? Oh yeah. Now, hopefully, looks like everything should be the right directions, hopefully. Let's find out how it all works out. Oh yeah, sure, they're nice. See there, the bumper fits a little bit, but yeah, very nice. I must have put it together the right way. Nice. Oh yeah. Looks like we got a winner. Let's see if it all works again. Make sure I didn't mess it up afterwards. There we go. Didn't know if I hit the button or not. Cha-boom, boom, boom, and bam. Nice. Okay, we got both tail lights. We're golden. I would say good as new, but I think it might be better than new, because now we're not going to lose our wires when we hit, because there isn't none in there. Oh yeah, that's nice. I should pull this thing on out of here real quick. Let me get that on wrong. Use it somewhere else. Pain in the butt, turn them down, ain't it? Oh, God, about ripped my thumbnail off trying. Might need it somewhere else. Bam. Nice little clip. We'll save that for a rainy day. Alright, y'all. Next thing I'm going to do in the next video anyway, I'm going to try to do a little bit of tweaking on the suspension on this. I'm wondering if we can maybe change the oil. I also want to check the diff oil on the rear end, maybe the center diff. I'm going to have to order some kind of grease or whatever y'all use in them. I don't want to put no earbuds in there. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I can't think of nothing else I need to take care of tonight. It's getting awful late, so we're gonna call it right here. So now, get all this mess out of my way. So there we go. El Bandito is back on the road. I do want to get a new set of tires and wheels. I want the green wheels so I can put these on my other Bronco. And that's about it. I mean, the truck doesn't need no upgrades. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that they get stuff like that, and the first thing they do is put a bigger power system in it and do whatever. But why? I don't need it anyway. This thing's a monster just the way it is, and I'm gonna leave it like that. So, alright guys, I think I've rambled plenty long enough like always, so please like, subscribe, share, comment, click on the links in the description below. Get you one of these, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.